exercise when you're doing these. You're also getting your fascia moving. Does everybody know what fascia is? So it's that stuff that, like when you take chicken, that's that thin, transparent stuff, or an egg. That's your fascia and that. So from your diaphragm, those muscles kick in right off the bat. Another set that kicks in is your multifidus. Your multifidus is really thin and it runs along your spine. So when you breathe through your diaphragm, and I'll go over where that's at in a second, is if you think about it, those muscles contract right off the bat. I mean, like, bam. When you're paddling, what's awesome is you're going to get that core support. What's also, by getting that support in your core, you're going to be in a better anatomical position for paddling biomechanically. What's also awesome is that you're going to be able to produce more force because you're in a better anatomical position. Your body's in better alignment. Does that make sense? So being here versus here. Here versus here. Or here. Because most of the time we breathe from here. So when we do that, and I just did that. When we do that, these go up and down. So your neck muscles shorten. Posture, we're anterior anyway, so that we just exacerbate that, which puts our shoulders in a biomechanical disadvantage and hence injury. We're here, so when we pull through the water, we go this way instead of this way. It's harder to rotate, etc., etc. See the path I'm going? Your hands around your lower ribs, and even in the back. That's where your diaphragm's at. So we're going to do an experiment. So let me, so I'm going to use you for example, John, okay? So the first thing we're going to do, I'll explain it, and then I want you guys to try it, and just make a note when you do it. So, so the person that's going to be pushed over, stand with your feet together, and then put your hand on your chest, and I want you to breathe deep in your chest. So your hand will go up and down. Yeah, and just however you... Okay? So go ahead and do that. Okay, now, put your hands in your lower ribs. Now you're going to breathe from your diaphragm. So I want you to imagine that in your lower rib cage, you have a balloon. And you're going to fill that balloon. It's not just going to go this way, but all around. Big in, big out. So same concept. If I try to tap John over, see the difference? And just play with that. I'm breathing from my diaphragm, right? Because even in a situation where it's can be kind of stressful, it's still important because you're going to have better posture, and then you're kicking in your parasympathetic system. You have all this great stuff happening that just physiologically, inside and out, is better for you anyway. Do more hinging in the lumbar spine versus the hips. So when we hinge from the lumbar spine, which is down in here, right? That primary function of the lumbar spine is flexion extension. However, when we flex it inappropriately without hinging at the hips, what we end up doing is loading it. And then we're paddling, loading it. So we're telling the disc to push that way with the load, right? Does that make sense? So, okay, we've got the core engaged. Now let's get the hinging down. So when we're hinging and we're seated, we're like this versus like this. So to hinge, slightly bent, go ahead and put your hands in your hips, and then like where that crease is in the front, so you have a sense of that. So what you're going to do is your knees are slightly bent. You're going to fold forward, and then when you come up so that your hips come forward. It's not a woe nelly in your back, but the hips are forward. So go ahead and put your hand behind your back like this. Come here, and here. You guys okay if I come around and the stick where it connects to your head and your butt? And then you do it.
Yeah.
Okay, go down again, and then come up. So if I went like this, your hips go forward.
No, your tail button coming out.
I'm getting kind of pushy here.
No.
See what I'm saying?
Let's see more abs.
The fascia, okay? You quick roll. So you go up and down your spine. So you never want to go like on a joint or like where you have real bony parts. You don't want to roll on that part. So, and it's not that easy with flip-flops either. So you're going to go up and down your spine. And then you want to get your rhomboids a little bit more between your shoulder blades. You can bring your arms, give yourself a hug. Then you're going to park your booty, support your neck, and gently extend over. Here's the key. You're not extending over by arching the back. You're extending over by lifting from the thoracic spine. And the thoracic spine is that mid upper back. Okay? So you can kind of do it segmentally. From there, scoot down a little bit. Okay, so that's really good to do because that's called the rib grab. Okay? So all it's to do is to isolate that thoracic spine. So what I want you to do when you do this is to imagine like here's your thoracic spine and then you're trying to rotate that. Because proper warm-up procedure is to do light cardiovascular warm-up, foam roller, or sometimes switching that around. Dynamic warm-ups, which I'll take you guys through, and which is part of this. Because the dynamic warm-ups is to prepare the body for movement, because that's what you're doing, versus, I'm going to hold a long stretch. That's not preparing your body for movement. You're going to grab your lower ribs, hence rib grab. Look over your shoulder and then gently pull. It's not a cranking motion. It's just to get moving. Say, okay, this is what we're going to be doing. We're going to be moving. So head, look over the shoulder, and then gently pull. So I'm